Hey y'all. Well, we made it to Friday, didn't we? Well, I'm trying a new program here. Y'all have to bear with me. We're had a lot of folks want to be able to watch on YouTube Live, so using a new program to stream on Facebook and on YouTube simultaneously. Um, if you're in the room and want to tell me where you're watching from, go ahead and comment. Hopefully, I can see it. We'll see. But standing out here getting some work done. Spring is pretty much here for us in East Texas. Uh, I'm not a weatherman, but I study it pretty hard and don't take it on authority. I wouldn't plant my tomatoes yet, but I'm about to move a lot of my plants outside. I don't see anything in the forecast that scares me before we hit spring proper and summer dead on, right? That old tree behind me, it's been there a long time. That one was its mate, but it fell here about a year ago. And just blows my mind how this place right here that I'm standing in used to be probably in the 60s, used to be the hopping spot for volleyball. That was before my time. I've seen it since I've been back, nice and manicured and mowed. And I'd mow it with my riding lawnmower, look like a lawn out here, and not so much. It's funny how quickly something can go down, you know. And I hadn't really neglected the place, but just not keeping it up like I wanted to. And it's rough. Y'all hear them mowers going? They're still working on the backyard. First cut of the season. They're a pretty quiet bunch. They're getting it done, and I'm gonna let them because that's one less chore I gotta do on mowing. But all is well here on the place. I was thinking about roots. Has some moonflowers. I don't know what all you call them, moonflowers. They come out at late summer and at night, beautiful, and they just take over that back area, and they've been there for years. But I mean, they can take over. But what the drought didn't kill, the last freeze we got did, so they were just stalks out there, but they do that every year. But as I'm breaking off them old rotten things and throwing them over there in the fire, I was thinking, goodness, roots are pretty important because they're going to come back from those roots just like these elderberries do. And a lot of folks don't understand why we are so adamant about preserving history and learning from it. A lot of folks these days, the younger ones, just want to throw it out and get rid of it. And that's not a real good path, good or bad. It'd be like having a river with full of alligators, and everybody that got in that river at that stretch got killed by an alligator, and you had a sign up there, but somebody thought that was unfair to alligators, so they took the sign down, and the deaths continued. So even if it's bad, we need reminders of it so that we don't do it again, I think. You know, we're pretty harsh on this younger generation. I got to watch that fire a little bit, y'all. My kiddos don't remember payphones, but I can't get too wild about it because I don't remember the time. I remember when it came out, but my parents wouldn't have paid for a bottle of water to save their life, would they? So things change. We just need to observe and learn and celebrate our roots, you know. And if we got bad parts in it, then let's learn from that. But there's enough good that I think we can celebrate it. Well, we got some new ladies out here. I've got 8 chickens. I forget, now the subscribers have seen this, and y'all are welcome to join in on that group. I post 2 or 3 times a day, or try to, different updates around the place. But so we had a good marginally successful hatch out of all the eggs that we had. We ended up with 8. There was about 24, but we had a incubator crisis and some other things. But we've got 8 healthy little chicks in there that are about 3 days old. 2 little black ones and I guess 6 little blondies. Of course, they'll change colors as they grow a little bit, but they're all doing fine and getting ready to start eating. I'll be showing that on the subscriber feed probably this evening. Those of you that know chickens, y'all know how to do it, but that's still got to show. So I'm gonna show how to get them started eating. They'll go 3 days. That's how they're shipped across the country without eating and drinking. But it's still a little early, but I'm gonna get them started anyway. But had a new friend, nice lady up Jacksonville way, she refreshes her flock every little while, and she's going to do the incubation process with her grandkids, I think, this year. So she was looking to get rid of her older birds. They're not that old, not for me, 1.5, 2 years old. They're still laying. I think I got an egg yesterday, and there's probably some out there today. I'm not going to go in the chicken house simply because the signal will die. But there's the ladies. Now, I'm not a big animal namer as far as livestock goes. That's just not a good practice. But I did have to name the return of the big old rooster here on the place. And it was my family's, my maternal side's maiden name, my grandmother's maiden name. But it has other connotations as well, and I think it fits him well. His name is Duke. So the Duke has returned to the, boy, I'm chancing it going in this chicken house. Let me see if I can turn it around real quick for you. I'm trying to figure out this new little, there we go. Zoom in there. Not getting ready for sundown, but we still got a lot of work to do on this chicken house. Those that have been following a long time know that it was needed a pen in here. But I've got it secured, and we're on the path. Isn't that the right way to do it? I've still got one of Sissy's puppies out here. Well, I say it's a puppy. It's about 1.5 years old. Never been around chickens, and I'm not taking any chances yet. Free ranging until I've got some time to be out here to work with it and see how that goes. Now Sissy, I took her in the other evening on a subscriber feed, and of course she's like, well, what's the big deal? They're just chickens, Dad. I've seen them before. She said, well, guess I'm back on duty after a couple of years of not having to. Another one that is a rehash for those in the other feed, but I told her as it happened, it was something else. I still chuckle thinking about this poor guy. He may be watching, and Lord bless him, he's going to get all the eggs he wants this year, and garden too. But we had a little tragedy, as that's what happens on this old Woden Road from time to time. When you got animals, that's just part of life. And, I thought it was Sissy at first, and boy, it just dropped my heart. But we got those 2 dogs, and they had the run of the place. They're not necessarily feral. They're friendly enough; they wouldn't bite you, and they really won't bark too much at you. But they're just farm dogs, and they had the run of the whole area. And they can be a little bit of a nuisance, and they like getting too close to that road. Well, y'all know what's coming. But there's how it played out, and there's a silver lining funny part to it, I guess. The funny part is what the old boy had to endure. So that's that stage. Now, y'all know I've got Bart, our rescue dog. He's my buddy, but he doesn't see and he doesn't hear, doesn't see real well. So he's kind of on his own island, and we have to kind of teach him where the boundaries are, because he'll hurt himself. So the other morning, I guess it was Monday, I was in the living room getting ready to go to work, having a cup of coffee, and I forgot I let Bart out in the morning to do his restroom business, and got a chain link fixed in the back, and he's fine for about 20 minutes, but then he gets restless and he'll jump it if I'm not careful. Well, I'd forgotten he was out there, but that was fine. And I'd already let Sissy out, I thought. So I see someone walking up the driveway, stranger, that's not uncommon out here in the country. So I got up to go to the door to greet the man, and he said he'd been passing by here since the 80s. He lives down the road and knew about my goats, and even knew my memo, and that was cool. We got talking about that later. But he said, man, I hate to tell you this, but your older dog just got hit right there on the road. Well, I thought it was Sissy, y'all, and that was rough. And I didn't know she was still in the house. I'd forgotten. And I said, well, is it dead? He said, yeah, I drug it off the road. So here I am at the lowest of lows for that instant, and all of a sudden I feel something bump me on the back, and it's Sissy. So poor guy had to be confused. Here I go from sad. It's like, oh, okay, because I was still sad the dog had got hit and was dead, but it wasn't Sissy, and that y'all can understand that. So he's kind of confused at what's going on. All right, all this is going on the front porch, and remember, I forgot about Bart. It had been about 30 minutes. Well, the guy's facing me, and I look over to the corner, and here comes Bart around the corner. Now, Bart's a friendly dog, and as soon as he meets you and he knows you, not a problem. But if he doesn't know you, that fear in him and that anxiety, he is going to bite you. It's going to happen. So I'm standing there, I'm like, oh man, I've got a mess going right now. So I told the guy, he hadn't seen Bart yet, didn't know anything about him. I said, buddy, this is gonna sound real weird, but I need you to be real still right now. And he said, oh, okay. I said, you see that dog right there? He said, yeah. I said, it'll bite you, and we got to get through this. So this is gonna sound really weird, but I need you to come in the house. Never been in this house, didn't know me from Adam. I said, I need you to come in the house, and I'm gonna put you in this front bedroom and close the door, and I'll get Bart situated, and then we can go on about our business. Well, he comes through the door. You know, that's what we got to do. He comes through the door, and here comes Sissy bounding up. Well, she's big. We know she wouldn't hurt him. Well, he's already worried about a dog bite. So he kind of, oh, what about this one? I said, no, this one's fine. So he starts petting Sissy, and he and Sissy go in the front room and close the door. Now, I had forgotten about a skeleton that Jordan had from full-size skeleton from Halloween. And that's a room we don't use. That's where my elevator is. I had it over in the corner. So I closed the door, get Bart situated. I opened that guy's face. He's like, let me out of this house. But we laughed about it. But anyway, that's some of the stuff you see as it happens sometimes. But I thought it's all about communication, right? And just kind of listening to what's going on and bending and going the right way. That's like that old boy come to town. He was a preacher man. I shared this the other day on the written word. I thought I'd tell it because it's a good one. It's an old story by a pretty good old boy from Yazoo, Mississippi, I believe. That's where he's from. Somebody will know that reference. But this old zealous preacher come to town. He was ready to win the town. And he was out witnessing one afternoon, walking down the country road, come up on an old farmer out there working his field. And he hollered out, he said, you working in the field of the Lord, my good man? He said, no, sir. These are soybeans. The preacher stopped. He was confused. He said, all right, well, are you a Christian? Old farmer never looked up. He just kept it working. He said, no, name's Jones. Probably looking for Joe Christian. He's about a mile south of here. Preacher shook his head. This guy was not getting it. He said, are you lost? He said, no, sir. I've been here all my life. Well, preacher had all he could take. And he said, well, are you ready for the resurrection? Well, now the farmer kind of caught notice of this, and he stopped working, looked up, and he said, no, when's it going to be? The preacher thought he'd made a little headway now, so he was going for the kill shot. He said, well, today, tomorrow, the next day. Now the preacher put his tools down and wiped his old brow and thought about it a minute. He said, well, I tell you, whatever you do, my wife don't get out much, so don't tell her about it because she'll want to go all 3 days. Oh, I love that one. That's all right. That poor preacher didn't know which way to go, did he? He just wasn't communicating correctly. But, all is well on the old farm. Spring is springing. I wouldn't say it's sprung, but it's springing hard. I got to get that tiller up and running. I was looking at it the other day. It's been down a year without running, so y'all know what that means. New spark plugs, a little tune-up, and get all that varnished gas on the parts inside of it cranked up and ready. But we'll get it done as we move along. But got a whole lot of plants in that house. I'm ready to get out here in the sun and get them hardened off. That's why I got to get that backyard tended to, because that will be a no-fly zone for the goats after them plants come out, or I won't have a plant left. If y'all know goats, y'all know that's right. Well, let me look through here and see who all we got on here this evening. Appreciate all of y'all's interest and support on the page. I got to put on my old spectacles. This screen's a little different. I'm hoping this is working between Facebook and YouTube. We'll see. There's my buddy Mike out in California. How are you, buddy? There's Kenneth. Said he'd love to have chickens, but lives in town. Yeah, that might break a few rules. There's Miss Carrie up Michigan way. Good to see you checking in. Kansas City had a little bandy rooster when he was a kid. think I can read this out them silly glasses. Miss Jane's checking in. Can't beat farm fresh eggs. That's right. Hey, there's my good friend Chris out Louisiana way. How are you? Well, Sissy sees a walker and she wants to make sure they know that this isn't their side of the street. Kendall says he loves their dogs. Maria's boss says hi. Yeah, whatever. I don't believe that. We've got John checking in from Kenya. Thank you, sir, for that. Mr. Maurice from, let's see, from Maryland again. Always great story, Jerry Clower. Yeah, that's right. Yazoo, Mississippi. Man, I love that one. Well, I hadn't been on in a week and just kind of, I got more work than I got time. And I really, I was going to just work till dark, and I still got something to do. But I thought I'd come on here and say howdy. Appreciate y'all. And maybe them goats will finally get this thing mowed for me and I won't have as much to cut. It's that good green grass, that one little black billy goat. I mean, it's kind of like us, though. They just don't have no sense. That grass is over my, it's probably 6 inches high. I mean, the first growth of spring, I mean, just beautiful, rich green grass. And he's got it all around him, but he wants to try to get through that chain link fence to get one little weed on the other side because he just ain't satisfied. This one don't want to get away from it because she knows it's getting dark and she don't want to miss her chance to go in the house. All right, y'all want to show out? We'll show. Y'all gonna headbutt again? Let's see. What are y'all doing? You trying to come over it now? I'm behind on my cutting with them. I had them in there yesterday, and I thought I had it secured, but one of them undid the latch and got out and went back and laid in the bed, or their bed in there, and so I had to coax them in here again. This one's about to have us some babies, so looking forward to that. She usually has 2, but her old belly's pretty swole. That full moon's coming. I expect to see them probably the next, I wouldn't doubt tonight or by Monday anyway. May not, but normally they have them when there's a big storm, and we don't have any of that coming. But hey, JoJo, her and Sissy are old pals. But if y'all know livestock, you know that one's probably about to give us some babies. That's one of her old babies there. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. We'll let you go, and y'all have a good weekend. Be the light. Make somebody smile. It ain't that hard.